Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Chaos to Closing. I'm Danielle.
I'm Trudy.
And today we have two wonderful guests. We have a repeat, Brandon, and then today we have Kevan. Woo!
Thanks for having us, guys.
Kevan's like, okay. All right, guys. Well,
I'm excited.
Do you want to give a little introduction?
My name is Brandon Kenney.
My name is Kevan Scott, and I'm a mortgage loan originator.
Give a little shout out to where you guys work.
Cliffco.
Cliffco.
Shout out.
All right.
You don't want to
Give a little
There's
background.
nothing else
What about
about
background
you?
about how you guys got into loans?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. You want to go or you want me to go?
You go.
So it basically started was I saw one of my friends. He was in the business, and I was like super curious because he was getting a new car every 6 months. And I was like, how are you doing this? Like, how is this possible? Me doing home remodeling. And I'm like,
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
It
more you
first started
know.
when, you see the owners of the companies and you're just like, oh, do I really want to end up like these guys? Like, is that the goal? And then, you see someone your age doing it, making money.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I got to do this. Got the information I needed to get, passed the test,
Right.
started doing loans. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But, after a couple of years, it was good. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to see what I saw my friend doing. I'm doing myself.
Okay.
Love that.
Exciting. What about you?
Yeah, so I was like shortly after him. So we've been best friends since high school. So
love that.
we kind of at the same point actually dropped out of school, went home to go to Suffolk.
Okay.
Had a class together, ironically. Just started
Astronomy.
hanging out more.
Astronomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was destiny.
Yeah, the stars aligned.
They really did.
Yeah, so we just started talking about we don't know what we're doing in school. Let's start doing something. Let's figure out what we want to do because we want to do something that's more in life.
Yeah.
So I got into electric, so I was an electrician. He got into carpentry, demo work, and we worked there for 4 or 5 years. Thought that I remember getting into the union and thinking I made it. I made it. This is it. And then you start learning about what it really entails. And I'll never speak poorly about any union. I'm just saying it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
He had started taking the class from work. I actually started taking my real estate class first.
Wow.
In COVID.
Shocker.
He went into Then we pivoted over to the mortgage side, and I probably joined 6 to 8 months after he did.
Okay.
Same
Wow.
company.
I love that. So how long do you think it took you guys to kind of finally see the results of all your hard work?
I would say 3 years.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the 3 year mark, it's
Yeah.
the last
All
6
right.
months
We're
really
almost there,
had
Danny.
picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, I'm about right at that same mark.
Okay.
Again, he's probably only a
It
couple
took me
more
3
months
years to
over
learn
three.
all my
Yeah.
products and
Okay.
all the
Yeah, we
stuff.
feel like we're coming into our own now, and business is really starting to pick up. And
Okay.
relationships that we put a lot of work into are starting to reap the benefits of, and
Right.
vice
Okay.
versa.
Found a
So,
little niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after.
so
I
it's
love
just
that.
keep throwing shit at the wall, and then eventually something will
Yeah.
stick. Yeah, you just gotta
that.
keep going at
Keep
it.
pushing.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, guys, what would you say some of the biggest challenges are that you face in the day-to-day as mortgage brokers?
For us right now, what we're really focusing on and what our partner / boss, shout out David, he pushes us every day to be just more on point with every step of the deal. Where's the appraisal at? Has it been on every single deal? Just being super organized with where our deals are at, what stages they're in, and what needs to be pushed. What's holding back the closing right now.
Okay.
So that's the biggest
The
thing.
loan will close in 45 days. If you just let it close, you can close it in 30 days.
Oh,
If you work on it.
I like that.
I agree.
And people won't shop you around if it gets done,
Quickly. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I just faced a deal that made it very deep, but title held it up, at the end of the day. But when they drag around, people just get bored and start shopping.
100%.
And, it's tough.
Yeah, they always say time kills deals. So I definitely
Time
agree.
is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know you guys were. Oh, go ahead, come on. No,
thank
go.
you. I was gonna say marketing schemes from bigger banks is also
Yeah, I you know
Okay.
what it is. I feel like a lot of people we talk to, they're like, well, I belong to Chase or I belong to TD. I have to go through them, and it's no, you don't. That's what they think though.
I had this perfect guy, great guy. And 804 FICO, him and his wife, 20% down, police officer.
The dream.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah.
The dream. The dream, right? So I'm pretty good on the phone. I'm talking to him. I'm figuring out. I haven't heard from him in a while, and I know he was like shopping for a house. The realtor called me, and she was like, sell me on your bar. So I sold her. They got the accepted offer. It turns out that one of the attorneys that I work with, Adam, is actually the attorney, the seller's attorney.
Oh, as well. Okay.
So he was like, "Oh, I pushed for this deal. I knew it was you.
Yeah.
Like you're good to go. Don't worry. Like anything you guys need, taken care of." I'm like, "All right, perfect. Like that's what I need to hear." Tell the guy that. He's like, that's good. And then he comes back to me, goes, "Yeah, I spoke to M&T. That's who I bank with." And I was like, "Oh, great." And he said, they have this program where they will refinance you every year for a $250 fee. You're just gonna get a half a point hit, half a percentage rate hit.
Right.
Okay.
Right? And it's like a marketing scheme because I could probably charge someone once a year, maybe 25% higher in interest rate. And it'll cover all their closing costs and it'll all be free.
Yeah.
But just because it's coming from M&T and they're a bigger bank, people are just like, oh.
Yeah.
They're not
more
gonna,
sense. Yeah.
they're not going to get over on me.
Yeah.
Like, and I could do as much as I can, but, it's just the name.
Yeah.
Chase, M&T.
I know.
Bank of America.
Yeah.
It's a household name. So.
Yeah. I feel like that's like and honestly, anytime we see a deal that's like Chase or whatever, I'm like, no. You're either going to change it or like I'm not accepting
Those deals take the longest.
They do. They will close anything.
Yeah.
They have their own set of guidelines.
Yeah, exactly.
That are going to add to the process.
Some of them have really good programs that are,
Yeah.
Yeah, that if you qualify for some of those programs, it's like, no brainer. Go.
Of course.
Like, yeah, go and take that and run. But like,
but especially like on Long Island, I feel like with title, like there's so many open permits, like no COs, and like they won't close if it's not spotless. So it's like I just had a deal and they refused to leave Wells Fargo. There were 7 open permits, and then they were mad at us, and we're like, well, "You're the one that won't leave."
Yeah.
Like so
you can't work magic.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the issue too. Is like.
They're depository. They don't care about
exactly.
giving you a mortgage or not. They're making so much money on their stuff that
You're nothing.
Yeah.
If we're not
people don't understand
mortgages, our bank is not making money.
Exactly.
So, like,
for them to have so many
everything.
avenues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they'll take the easy A+.
Yeah.
Nothing, no problem.
I would say we're right on par when it comes to being competitive with rates. Like, you give me a rate, I could probably match it or beat it.
Yeah. I love that.
I like that attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Rate check.
Yeah, rate check. But yeah, no, that like is huge, and that was a huge reason why we came to Cliffco too.
Right.
Because we were looking at other options, and other options, although were great banks and maybe had a great process and were closing loans quickly, like being competitive in rate is so important.
100%.
Yeah. Would you say that that's like the biggest like thing for consumers right now is like the rate?
Unfortunately, all they're worried about is the rate. But
Yeah.
like, what they're not paying attention to is like, what does the rate do to your payment?
Yeah.
Because like that's what matters.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
how much more interest are you paying over the 30
Yeah.
years? Like,
Yeah.
are
It's
you
not
going to
forever.
stay in this
Yeah,
loan?
it's not forever.
Are you going to refi? Or
Right.
is that going to make sense? So like,
Is your house going to go up in value? Buying a good
Right.
area?
Right.
You're going to pull cash
People
out.
don't think about those things.
That's why
So I
when
feel like
people
they're
like-
just focused on like the
Yeah.
number, the payment,
'cause
and
it's the
that's
easy
like
thing
tunnel
to pay
vision. That's all they
attention to.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to see every day, and it's like this is what it is today. This is what
Yeah.
it is tomorrow. Like they're not like going to continuously crunch numbers.
Right. Yeah.
Or even know how to. So
Right.
like that's where our job comes in is
Right.
educating them, showing them the numbers in front of their face so they
Yeah.
fully see like this is what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
if you buy this at this rate.
Yeah.
Like, and this is what would happen if you're getting the rate that think you're going to be able
Yeah.
to get. So like the difference is
Just educate.
a lot of the
But
time.
we get it.
much.
People get nervous.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
like,
It's a big
you know,
investment.
Big
It is.
investment.
If you talk
But
to
they
me-
need to think
yeah.
of it as an investment.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you talk to me and I'm buying a home before I was in the business and I was very little,
Yeah,
everything,
of
I'm probably
course.
doing the same shit.
100%.
I understand.
Yeah.
Completely.
No.
Keeping it real.
That makes sense. So I know before you guys said you have like a niche that really helped like, jumpstart your business kind of. Can you dive into that?
Yeah, the non-QM business, actually.
Okay.
When things were a little bit slower getting into the business during COVID, I learned a lot of non-QM products by doing a lot of loans. And
Right.
by learning those products and going out and networking, and it's not as known
Yeah.
probably as it should be, which is good for us.
Yeah.
And we picked up a lot of people who are business owners who don't show a lot of income on the books, and they qualify for these programs.
Right.
And
Of
it
course.
works.
So can you kind of, for our listeners, elaborate on what a non-QM program
It's
is?
a non-qualified mortgage. So most people get qualified mortgages when they go to purchase a home or refinance, they go through Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. Those are those 1, 2, 3 easy deals. Show me your W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, and we'll see if you qualify. And if you qualify, here's your interest rate, payment, and it's all going to be the best rate possible. Now there's some people in business who own businesses who write off their income. And don't show too much income. But they make a lot of money.
Right.
So there's ways for them to qualify, whether it's through their bank statements, whether it's through their 1099s, maybe a profit and loss statement drawn up by a CPA, P10, EA, and they can qualify that way. Rates are slightly higher, but it allows you to reap the benefit of writing down your income almost down to, whatever it has to be.
Right. Okay. I feel like that's the issue, especially like people like us who we don't make anything besides like our commissions. So it's like a lot of people write off a lot.
Yeah.
And so it looks like they make maybe like 50,000, but they're really making like 100 plus. So
yeah, exactly. So it's taking your business's income and qualifying you in a different way. It's basically
it's going to be big with the next generation because everything.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say a lot of social media,
influencers.
Statistics too are just the Gen Z and millennial, I forget the number, but it's a very high percentage where they're going the entrepreneurial route, which is going to reflect being a business owner. And most of the time,
which is like stupid because think about it, like if I'm a W-2 worker, okay, I have my gross income, but I don't make nearly as much as that when I net out, but you guys take the gross income. But for us, you don't, you know what I mean? It's stupid.
So it makes a lot of sense. And again, like what he said, like you're going to, the amount of money you're saving by writing off your income on your tax returns, in taking that little bit of a higher percent on a rate, it's
really not
every situation is different, though.
It depends what's best for the person.
Yeah, exactly.
But most of the time, it's not like a big hit.
It might not make sense for some people.
Of course,
But
these, with these programs, you just have to put down, a little bit more money or more of a risk.
Of course,
credit should be a little bit better. But other than that, it's pretty.
LTV, you can
pretty flexible.
Yeah, you probably usually have to put down a little bit more down payment if you're purchasing.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
In such a competitive industry, how does your personal network help you guys stand out?
Yes, I feel like you guys are really good with
You guys are like the networking kings in my mind.
Yes.
Thank you. I like that.
I know that's a heavy title to give you guys, but I swear every event we're at, I see you.
We said that Karina was the networking queen and you guys are the networking king.
That's respect.
I agree.
That is respect.
Yeah.
It was easy for us. Again, once we're best friends, so we're hanging out. So we're in business. So we're trying to make money together.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? And how many times have you heard your net worth is your net worth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we just went out and we went out to Lamani in Comac when I wasn't even licensed yet. Right when I wasn't even licensed yet. And I was still taking the class.
Yeah.
And just we're talking to just
schmoozing people,
just sitting at the bar and just talking to people. What do you do? For living, advice, asking for advice from the older generation.
Right.
That obviously probably successful based
before people were doing it.
Hanging out,
Before it was cool.
So it kind of started there, and then we started just clicking. And to be honest with you, networking is kind of enjoyable. If that's work, if that's how I'm earning my business, grabbing a drink, talking to people, it's not a bad life.
Yeah,
to live.
People see that you're normal in person, and then it's just oh. All right.
Right.
He's cool.
I feel like we were saying, especially now with social media, you almost feel like you kind of know the person when you meet them. So it's not as awkward.
No, it's not. I'll never forget. You booked him for Chaos last season. I had no clue that she had mentioned that she booked Sunday Swim.
She just probably didn't listen to me.
I didn't. I probably didn't. I disassociated. And we were at brewery and he comes up to me and he's like, hey, you're from CTC, I'm gonna be on the podcast. And I obviously played into it. I'm like, oh my God, can't wait to have you. So excited.
Someone came up to me.
Yeah, she gave me the cold shoulder. Don't let her fool you. She was like, who the hell is this guy?
Someone came up to me. They're coming on the podcast, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Sunday Swim. And she's like, oh
yeah, I literally had no clue. But that just goes to show it felt like we knew one another.
Yeah, it's how it goes. That's how the relationship was honestly built.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, I don't even know how.
I think from social media, we kind of just were following each other.
And that's what he started doing it, and we all started doing it now. Is just getting Instagrams. It's the cards are great.
Yeah.
We are in 2024.
But Instagram,
people get to see what you're doing.
100%.
And it's so easy to interact with people on social media. It's throwing a like on a story, throwing a like on a post, swiping up on something, and just interacting. People care about that.
They do.
They like that you're showing love.
Right. I agree.
Right.
I feel like that's also a huge thing that we're doing too.
And I'm sure you guys feel the same. We feel this way. We're there's so many loan officers, there's so many real estate agents, but it's I want to work with someone that I can actually say I'm friends with. I hang out with them.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. And like,
it's hard to have friends who you're not making money with at this point.
Yeah.
At this point,
That's a good, valid.
Making money with my friend, it's like super enjoyable.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just hanging out.
Exactly. That's why when people like, I mean, you guys were friends before, but like Trinity and I only met like a little over a year ago, and people are like, "Oh, have you been best friends forever?" But it's like, I just feel like when you are going through something with someone, like it's as if you've known them for so much longer.
Yeah, like we've gone through like the struggles together, so it's like
it is like sick
she gets it.
Like look back and we're like where we were 4 or 5 years ago.
Crazy.
Like
see the memories are like really
doing nothing, like thinking
not doing
like,
nothing.
We were working, but
like you weren't seeing
in the grand
results.
scheme of things.
100%.
You were like, if I was doing that still right now, I don't even know what I'd be doing myself.
Yeah. And like I'm sure you never
too hard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't work harder, work smarter.
There we go.
Yes,
there we go.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever picture your life to be how it is now?
Good one.
Always.
Yeah. I think we always
like in a
wanted more
sense,
for ourselves. Like we didn't know exactly how it was going to look or where.
Or what you were going to be doing that would lead you to.
Always, that's where our friendship was really built on, is wanting more. Like what? How can we? Yeah. How can we do more for ourselves?
That's the best though. Like I feel like because me and Danny are best friends too. Like it's so nice to be able to work alongside her. Like someone who's truly my best friend. Like I kid you not. Like we literally talk all day, all night. Like and it's just the best because we're both have the same goals, same vision, and just makes things that much better.
100%.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone you can lean on.
And cry too.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of
So as we know in this industry, it's not like, you do something one day and you see the success the next day. So how do you guys stay motivated in an industry that you really have to put in a lot of hours and kind of years worth of work to see success?
Just by looking at the crowd we're able to surround ourselves with and look up to people and be like, oh, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
When I grow up. Yeah. Even though people are, 10 years old and super successful. So like just that alone is super motivating. And then getting a nice check,
Of course.
Getting the check and being like,
all right, maybe those like 3 months of hell were like worth it.
Yeah.
It is trying to like really, and it's something I struggle with tremendously, is just staying middle, like staying neutral.
I agree.
It's a
You
roller
can't care
coaster
too
ride.
much. You can't care like too little.
The
You gotta
highs
just
can't be
like
too high, the lows can't be too low.
Yeah.
Like you really have to stay even keeled, especially in this business.
I
because,
agree.
like, you're getting jerked around on a regular
Yeah.
basis.
One day you're on a
that's what
high,
you
one day
signed up
big
for.
low.
So like I'm like super emotional, like getting super tight, like fuck that person. But like really it's like, no, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, and you have to have respect. Like this is business. So like people going and shopping your rate, like it's business. There's
It's gonna happen.
I would be probably doing the same thing if I was them. So like I understand.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny
agree.
because we'll be like bitching and we'll be like, I hate it. My deal's dead. Like, I hate this industry. And then it's like closing day and I'm posting like, love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, so happy. Like, flies me while my client made me want to pull my hair. And I'm like, thankful for you.
No, I totally agree. It's easy to get like super emotional. It's because you're investing all this time and energy and people don't see the behind the scenes, like what we're going through, what we're dealing with every day. Like I was just telling Danny's like, oh, like, you haven't accepted offer. Like, you should be so excited. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Like no, I'm not getting excited.
Don't
like
count your chickens until they hatch.
It's so
I
true.
agree. And like even when it comes to like emotions, like Dana would be like, oh, like whatever, blah blah. I'm like, no, you got to think about your bag. Like think about your money.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my paycheck right now, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the fake it till you make it part, right?
you have
People
to
think
a little,
about
100%.
like it's just like, oh, buy a nice shoe, get a nice watch.
People
Get a
really think we're
car.
hanging out.
And
Yeah, right. Doing
We're
nothing
not
all day.
hanging out. We're getting told to go fuck ourselves on a regular basis.
Yeah, basically.
That's literally what it
But
is.
it's really like just keeping your emotions. Some days you want to yell, some days you're, super happy. You don't want to rub it in or get people to have like the wrong impression of you.
Right,
So
right.
you just got to be like
Chill.
That's
content.
why we honestly work so well together, because everything's usually all right with Kevan. Like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, you
nothing's
seem
too
very, like,
bad.
he's very mellow.
Like
Always.
He has a good
my world is
disposition.
crumbling around me, like, and I'm like, and he's like, bro, like, what
Not
what's
that-
going
No,
on?
that's me and Danny.
Yeah,
Danny and I, we have a rule. If one of us is spiraling, other one has to be strong.
Only one could be having a mental breakdown. So like, but
Yeah.
it's so funny because I feel like we both have the same personality. So like Trudy will be spiraling and I'm like, it's fun. Everything will work out. And then the next day I'm like, I hate it here.
I'm like, it's all good. It's going to be fine. So we
Yeah.
just take turns spiraling,
Yeah.
basically.
So
we were at my house one time and I flooded the basement, of course. And
Nice.
he's coming in And I'm like, I mean, if this is the worst thing that happens to me, I'll take it.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, and that's how we look at things now.
Worse.
Yeah.
We look at things that way, and it's like, all right, well,
it's not so
if
bad.
this is my bad karma, so be it. Like, if this is the worst thing that is going to happen to me, like, I have to clean a flood, like, please, that's okay.
I always say, and how many times do I say this? When we worked at our old office, there was a guy, I'll never forget, and someone was like, hey, like, Bob, like, how are you today? He's like, well, my back hurts, like, my arthritis. He's like, so great, because that means I'm alive. If I'm hurting, it means I'm alive. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a great way to look at it.
That is
like,
a good way to look at it.
So
shout out to Ricky.
Was it Ricky?
It was Ricky.
Oh, okay.
I hit a boulder on Sunrise Highway. There was a boulder this big in the middle of the highway. I hit it. It probably launched across the highway. I was going so fast.
Oh my God.
And I got a flat tire.
Funny.
I literally... Tire shop right there, Pep Boys. Pull the car in. Tires too big. We can't do it. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
So I had to leave. I like Ubered home, ordered a tire.
I think I was
overnight.
on the phone when he hit the boulder.
Oh my God. You're like, hello?
I was like, there's no way I don't have a flat tire right now. I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then, it just went to zero immediately. Luckily, it was a big tire, so I was able to just drive.
Yeah.
Pep Boys, they couldn't help me. So then, I just called the mobile guy and he just did it within a
But it could always be worse. Like,
It
at
could
least
always be worse.
Could have been worse.
you were able to fix it.
You just had to get that off your chest.
I had to get
was this recent?
Sunrise Highway, clean it up.
This?
Clean it up. It's a problem.
Like a year ago.
No, it's not.
He's like, I've been bottling this up inside.
No, it wasn't a year ago. Maybe
So
if that.
it's
This is a sore topic.
They got to clean
for him.
that highway up. Though.
do.
Brett loves it.
All right, PSA, clean up the streets of Long Island. Too many potholes,
All
please.
our tax money, though.
Yeah, what's
is
that
good.
gas tax for?
I
We
agree.
were like classic
No
Long
roads.
Island. Where does our tax money go? Our roads.
I'm hitting
to that.
speed bumps on the road.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
no sense.
also, the worst investment he has ever made is lowering his car.
I don't know why you would do that here. There's too many potholes.
Every new parking lot,
handling.
parking lot is like,
It's like
can
a
we go
handling.
here today, or do we have to go home because I don't know if I can
Because
pull
the
in.
only when you hear it, like,
Yeah. You're like,
No, it's
It's
bad. And you're like, oh,
You're like,
no.
you get out of your car sweating. You're like,
Actually, right? Like we always say, like Kevan never. I've seen him mad twice in my life. No, he's mad when there's speed bumps.
real. Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's
he's going mad slow. He's like trying to go around it.
Sometimes it just makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
I agree.
I'm like, all right, well, there we are.
Yeah.
So speaking of networking, since you guys are networking kings, how do you make sure that your networking is like really authentic and not just transactional? How do you keep the relationship going?
Because you could tell who's a fraud.
Yep. And we don't like frauds here. No frauds.
Yeah.
Fraud is bad.
Yeah.
Especially mortgage fraud.
Yeah. And expensive. And expensive.
Yeah.
We just really normal people. We
Yeah.
want to educate people. And, if I have to make less money on a deal because there's an issue, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
But, sometimes people try to chew you down from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's an issue. And then it's like, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I
There's
can do.
no room for me to like do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the networking is and I tell people this a lot. Like one of the first meetings I've ever had in the mortgage business with like a company, like at our previous company, there was an OG there, and like they were asking like to give like some advice.
Old gangster.
OG. Shout out John Eucness because he's a great guy. He was like, if you're going out and networking, you're not networking to get business that day. Like if you think you're going to network and get business in
That's
that
a good
moment,
point,
you're unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because you're not just going to go out and a deal's going to, oh yeah, I have a deal that perfectly, I need you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not how it works. Become friends with them.
Yeah.
And
So
work with the
true.
people that you want to actually be friends with. Like I think you just said that earlier. And it's like, no, like that is fact. Like
Yeah.
if I can't be friends with you, my genuine intention is going in and becoming friends with you and
Yeah.
wanting to hang out with you. And then if that doesn't work, I'm usually not going to end up doing business with you. So
Yeah.
that's to me the biggest thing.
No, I agree. I think we talked about that because we went to a network event and like obviously now I'm in charge of recruitment. So I kind of went into like I need to find realtors, blah, blah, blah. But then like our like, I don't know, like MO kind of changed. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, like let me just like meet people, make connections. Cause it's like, look, even if they don't want to come here, now it's like, well, if they have a listing, maybe I bring a buyer in. And now it's just
Yeah.
like, who knows? Yeah.
Everything. Genuine, real, like just being a nice, good
I agree. You have
person
to
goes
stay
Do
so
you know the
authentic.
background
Yeah.
story to me and Jonathan's friendship?
No.
So
There's a Jonathan and Kevan lore. Let's hear it.
yeah. So here's the backstory. It's probably maybe 2 years ago.
Probably has something to do with cars.
Yeah, it does.
Shocker.
So
Johnny loves his cars.
Yeah. I went into the office. I was just like walking office to office.
Yeah.
Like, I would just attack a town a day. I walked in there and I was just talking, car stuff, maybe we'll work together, maybe this. Me and him talk for a little bit. But that was really it. There was really no follow-up. 2 years later, when I met you guys in person for the first time
at Wine.
No, it was
Brew.
No, at the Broker Open.
Yeah, the Broker Open.
The Broker Open.
yeah.
When we met in person.
Yeah. So,
we saw Jonathan briefly at that event, though.
Yeah, we saw Jonathan there.
Yeah.
But I see him like from here there. And then, so I invited my friend Ron and my friend Alan, who does real estate, and they came. And obviously, I know Jonathan likes cars. So.
Yeah.
And that's the one way to his heart.
Yes, it is.
They chit-chatted up a little bit. It worked out. He wanted to do a car show at the Ocean Watch.
Yes.
And it worked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the rest is
I got my first pre-approval from John, and it was
Slay.
nice $1.1 million pre-approval.
Yeah.
So, good relationship so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
love
it's
that.
all about finding like common ground too with people.
It comes around.
Yeah.
Jonathan invited us to the Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
to test
that
drive the
was sick.
Ferraris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
sick.
cool.
Yeah, like it's just again hanging out. Like that's it always goes back to that 100%.
Yeah, it's not,
It's not just work. You can
it's
have
not
fun.
just like, leads
Yeah.
or I want mailers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like actually fostering a relationship.
Yeah. It's like being a normal person. Oh, you like cars? I like cars. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go do car
And the big
stuff.
thing too is
Right.
like we're so event based. Like we love going to events. We have our own events, different things that we do, different charities that we work with. So it's like showing support.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, literally who we use a lot of our title now is. I'm shouting out man people. Shout out Eric Nicholas, but like he shows up every time.
Yeah.
And like
he
that
shows
matters to us. He showed up
with his kids.
Yeah.
Last
with his
minute.
kid, like two little kids to a networking event.
Very well behaved kids.
Yeah, they were the star of the.
But
the
like you
event.
remember that.
That goes a long way for us.
Yeah.
Need you to
just
show up.
showing
We
face.
always say that. We're like, we will always remember like who, even in the beginning, like didn't show up for us. Like thought they were too good for us. Like
You
I'll
always
never forget.
always remember who did you good and who did you
Yeah.
dirty. I will never forget who did me dirty. So
Yeah. So guys, what advice do you have for loan officers who are starting out in the business and the importance of networking and just, hustling? Because again, we said it takes time.
Know your product.
Yeah, that's important.
Stay on top of people and offer value
Yeah.
where you need to offer value.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like back to like that advice, like build your network, understand, like have people know what you do.
Yeah.
But I don't think you have to be over the top, like in their face with it.
Yeah.
Just they need to know. And then when you are building that relationship, build a genuine relationship.
Yeah.
And
You're not going to make money in the first couple of years.
No,
It's just
of course.
Just not
just
how
what it is.
Right.
We
Yeah.
actually have a new loan officer that's working with us taking his practice test right now, like studying for his
cool.
test. You met him, Fabi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he speaks Spanish.
Love it.
I don't remember him.
Shout out Fabi. Another shout out Fabi. But yeah, no, he's doing it right. Like he's already wanting to build relationships,
Yeah.
reaching out to the people he already knows. Like just being consistent.
Yeah,
and, like,
I agree.
not-
I feel like building a foundation for whatever business you're trying to grow and build is like pivotal. I always tell Danny, like, and even people who are just starting out in real estate, like shadow someone. You have to
Yeah, we
learn
always say that.
what you're doing before you start going out there on your own. Because guess what? Anyone could get their mortgage license and just, join somewhere and do whatever. Anyone could get their real estate license, which we see, and show homes, get listings, do whatever. But just because you have the license doesn't really know you know what you're doing, unfortunately.
The product is super important.
Yeah.
Like, knowing what you're selling.
Well, that's like to both of your points, like, you're not going to make money probably the first year. And if you do, it's not going to be anything life-changing. So it's like, don't try to rush to like get a client, like know what you're selling, like know your product, like you guys said. And even if that first year you don't really do a lot of business, but if you gain the knowledge, like that's
why it
amazing.
was for us to come in post-COVID and miss that boom.
So did
like,
we.
so did we.
Yeah,
Same.
so did
It's
we.
like we took our learning years that we probably wouldn't have crushed. We would have made good money, like them better than we did.
I would have
when we
crushed
initially
it.
came.
Yeah, like,
crushed it.
speak for yourself.
But you might have had unrealistic expectations.
And like for me,
moving
like
forward.
now when this next boom comes, we are so well equipped
Yes.
like that. Like
You're ready to go.
It's a
Game
wrap.
That's what we say.
agree.
We're like, oh, it sucks because we talked to everyone who started like pre-COVID and they're like, it was as easy as showing 3 houses. You picked a house and you could put like 10K under, 20K under, and like you're good. Now, like we never experienced that, but it's like, you know what? Now we're going through the shit of it. So weed out all the bad realtors and then
Oh, yeah.
All the Bay Realtors, and like you get creative, like you learn different ways.
Yeah.
And again, you go and find like for us, like we started our own, like the car show stuff he does.
Yeah, really cool.
The basketball stuff I do, like all the different stuff that we do. At the end of the day, although they're all their separate entities, they all are going to feed back and intertwine.
But it sets you guys apart. Like, oh, they do the cars, they do the basketball, but like they're also the loan officers.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're
That's how we got
people.
involved with
Yes.
That's how we got involved with swim. It came from the mortgage. Like, let's get involved with the good cause.
Yeah.
Got involved, and then obviously we got heavily more involved, but it's all the same concept.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, guys. So this might be a little bit of a loaded question, but where do you see your guys' business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Good question. We talk about it all the time.
Okay. So they came prepped.
Yeah, you're
If
ready.
you don't have a 5 or 10 year plan, or it doesn't need to be down
Just
to
an
the decimal
idea.
point, but a really clear cut direction of kind of where you're headed, figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Love it.
But we talk about it all the time. It's just continuous growth, executing on the relationships we have now. Like we feel like we're at a point now where we have so many good relationships that can feed us business in the future.
Right.
That we just need to nurture them and continue to grow and continue to build them versus like necessarily kind of adding to it. So we're just really trying to execute on the relationships we have now.
We're building.
And then level up.
Yeah.
And then level up. And it's just kind of like clear your plate, get a new one. Like clear your plate, get a new one. So like we're trying to be much more structured and like clear cut.
Right.
Like, this is what we're going to do first, second. But all of our businesses right now are like kind of growing in a very similar pace. And like it's cool and it's nice because it allows us to manage them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're looking to delegate. Of
course.
Delegate,
Yeah.
Get some employees.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
awesome.
like we really want to delegate. Like that's why Cliffco is a huge step for us too, because we have a much more support on the process side. Like we are doing less of like document collecting, and you know we're still pushing and for docs and stuff. Obviously, stuff that's outstanding, but like it's way less. We have way more
you don't have to like chase people down.
Our
and
support
like
at the bank is unreal. Like it's like we are really
Someone's answering me.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's sick. It's not like spread out between the whole company. It's a pretty small group that's all managing.
a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
Exactly. Get it to the conveyor belt, pass it on.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah. So that was big for us, but to take that to the next level, like have even more of a process where it's really just our twos. Like you know what I mean? 'Cause we're obviously with a small team, but a team.
Right.
So
I love
Nice.
it.
Do you guys think you'll eventually do you guys in what capacity do you work together? Are you guys just is it like me and Danny, like we work alongside one another and like obviously, you know, eventually hopefully doing deals together? Do you guys do deals together or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll say what we do really well, and like we've learned from other like you know situations that we've seen in the business and even outside of business. Like my father had a partnership my whole life in this business, like so just seeing different like positives and negatives that come from it. We are really like on a deal by deal basis, like relationship by relationship basis, and we're very open. Like the second that you start like letting deals close and like he's doing the work on them, and like well then you're gonna get paid more.
Of course,
You know, like if it's our relationship, but you're managing the deal and managing the relationship, you're gonna get paid more on that. But like we're all gonna eat together because we go out together and network together.
That's what we always say. We're like, you know, obviously Trudy has her own separate relationships. Like if she had a friend from high school, like obviously I'm not going to be involved in that. Like I don't know them. But you know, if it's someone we meet together, if it's like, you know, I've went sometimes on like listings, I'm like, look, you know, maybe it's Suffolk and I don't really know Suffolk as well. So I'll bring Trudy and I'm like, let's just do it 50-50 or vice versa. Like she'll come to me with questions about Nassau County. So it's like, you know,
it's nice to be able to like bounce off one another, but always feel like the relationship is like fair and even. Like I never have to like look over my shoulder and be like, oh, what's Danny doing? Like is she gonna like fuck me over next?
It's an open dialogue. Like
Exactly.
you have to keep an open dialogue because the second that someone's in their head going, I deserve more. Why am I not? Like then it's over.
It's over,
But yeah, we have the other businesses too that allows us to like. We have so much shit going on.
I agree.
Like,
It's so hard to find a friend who wants to see you grow.
We always say that. Like I always say, like if I'm like competing, well, I don't compete with my friends or family, but like if I feel like I had to, like then you're not my friend or family.
100%.
Like I'm not, like I see siblings compete. I'm like that's weird.
Yeah. And I think the best is like Danny and I always say like at the end of the day, like of course I want to make money. I want to make money together.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I value our friendship more than like any dollar amount. So there's like no money that could come in between us that would like fuck it up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because when shit like that starts happening, then like are we really friends?
Yeah, like
100%.
look, if I freaking won the lotto, like she'll
like, here's
be
a couple
comfortable.
million.
She'll be comfortable. I'm not not gonna like, not take care of my friends if I hope I win the lotto.
50%?
Yeah. All right, maybe not 50. I don't need 50.
We need to have that conversation.
Yeah. All right, I just need I'd be fine with 1 million.
Is if one of us wins the lotto.
Yeah, what dollar amount are we
It
getting?
depends how much the lotto is.
Yeah, I'll throw you a couple bones.
Yeah, right?
$100.
a couple hundred. I'll take you out to dinner.
But what
Here's $500 in a Chipotle.
And it's like I won 500 million. We're like, oh. But what I like what you like said is how you guys like nurture your relationships. Like it's not all about like the right now. I feel like some people see it like, oh, they're not ready to buy for another year, like wasting my time.
Yeah.
Never.
Nurture, yeah.
You never know who's going to come back.
You do right with those people, they'll just be like, oh, look, my friend's looking to buy right now.
Yeah, you follow up with them.
Yeah, even if you just shoot them a text, like, Merry Christmas. You always want to say like top of mind.
Someone was telling me, I forget who it was, that like their smallest deal that they ever closed in their, I think it was Eric, but ended up being like,
I think it was Eric.
It turned into like, the biggest deal.
So
like, refer to him like
yeah.
a monster.
Yeah.
Like it's like the greedy now,
Yeah.
without any vision of like what that could build to. Like each relationship has its own, arc that
It's
you have.
own,
Yeah, that's the best part.
like,
being able to like, help a friend out, discount a loan.
Exactly.
Do this, do that. I mean, obviously you have to close loans
Of
in other
course.
places to be able to give,
Right.
but it's,
It works hand in
well
hand.
worth it. Yeah. Refer me
That's
to
just good
someone.
Like you're trying to actually take care of your
100%.
clients and not like there's a line, right? Like you got to make your money. You have to
Right.
have your line of,
Of
like,
course.
this is my time.
I
This
make
is
a
my
living.
value.
Yeah.
But like still, like you want to hook up the people.
Yeah,
you like,
help
them.
because at the end of the day, they're gonna come back. They're gonna
Exactly.
refer their
That's your
friends.
name.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, I
Hook up one
agree.
of my friends. I hope they tell.
We just had
100%.
100%.
we really just closed like one of our like first like hometown friends that are like purchasing is like a good friend. And he posted like, oh, like appreciate you guys having you in our corner. Like
It's free to post share for your friends.
Yep.
Yeah,
we always say that.
So
and it's
like
nice when you could teach one of your friends the process.
Yeah.
And add value.
Oh, wow.
100%.
Like, I never
they're
thought of
building
it
their
this way.
investment portfolio and it's
Yeah.
like they're setting their lives up and
Yeah.
we're helping.
You're a
them.
part of
My name's on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's huge.
isn't it the best feeling, like knowing that someone genuinely trusts you to like basically make the biggest purchase of their life?
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's like the goal. And like again, like people that are genuinely honest and genuinely have nothing to like have in the back of their head going like, really, I could have done this.
Yeah.
Like no, like you're genuinely going to bat for them. Yeah, I sleep like a baby. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So before we wrap things up, last question we always ask all of our guests, if you guys could give advice to younger you, what would it be?
Gotta sit and think with that one.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
I feel like for myself is especially when I was younger, like I did not roll with the punches well.
Yeah.
Like, I would let lows be low.
Yeah.
Like, and really dwell in my lows.
Yeah.
So like for me now, what I feel like I'm really like, is like I mentioned it earlier, just staying even and like understanding like that's like part of life. Like,
Right.
You gotta roll with the punches and what I'm gonna let the low turn into a week of low, like be
Right.
able to move on. And like, I could tell the kids I coach all the time, is very common in sports. Like even when I was playing growing up, I would let one negative play turn into a bunch of like, so like really just understanding like next play mentality.
Yeah. I love
like
that.
one bad play, move on to the next. Like
100%.
there's plenty of opportunity to make up for it. So
I love it.
that'd be what
That's
I would
great
say.
advice.
I love it.
What about you?
Kevan?
I would say I would tell myself just to, go 100% in everything, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Good, bad, whatever it is. If I believe in it, go 100%.
I love it. Don't
I
leave
like that.
anything behind.
Don't leave anything behind. No regrets.
No regrets.
Never.
Except if you get a tattoo that you misspelled.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Oh, you seen that before?
Of course I've seen that. I love that movie. What is that? We Are the Millers?
He does not know that.
I don't watch any movie.
Wow.
No,
We Are the
no
Millers.
TV, no
We're the
movies.
yeah.
Oh, it's so
Just
funny.
work?
Just take it in life. Make sure you take in life, everyone.
Take it in.
That was
Most important
beautiful.
thing.
Okay, so if anyone is looking to get a mortgage, please share with the Chaos Crew how they can get in touch with you.
Information will be right here.
Yes. Well, it's like you're gonna put it right there. Information is actually going to be like right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I post it up.
Yeah, there we go.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Share it.
Do you want to share
All
it?
right, so yeah, Cliffco
I thought you actually
Mortgage
don't have an
Bank,
option.
Kevan, Scott, Brandon, Kenney.
What's your
don't know-
Instas?
Insta Brandon Kenney _
Spell it for
BK,
us.
BRANDON KENNEY _BK.
Okay, and I'll
All
put
right.
that.
That's a mouthful.
It is. If it's a lot.
No diddy. But, mine is MTG Banker, MTG _ Banker.
I love it.
Check the license plate, you're
the license plate is banker.
I love it. Oh my God. I love it.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure having you guys. We love you so much. Thank you for all of the support.
The Network Kings.
Yes, our networking kings. And that is a wrap on episode 6. See you next time.
Bye. Woo!
Slay.